Roger Stone here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That's actual physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or you're retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone right now for your free Roger Stone Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit. Or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589. Call now to receive your free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
It's the left versus the right. In the right corner, Dominic Carter. In the left corner, it's Anthony Weiner. Now, to the Bernard McGurk Studios, it's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis.
So welcome to Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on your left, Dominic Carter on your right. Kind of a special edition we're going to try to do today. These presidential candidates, they're imitating us. They're having a debate next week. They finally did what we've been doing for weeks. You know, I got some feedback about last week. My friend Ron texted. He said, most weeks it's like you guys are having a family squabble. This week was like marriage counseling. You and I, maybe we got a little intense last week. I accept my responsibility. I think I led that off. I apologize if I got a little hot last week.
Well, that's cool. I just want to establish some ground rules going forward.
Okay, I was going to introduce what we're going to do, but
Go ahead.
I thought maybe what we do is rather than go for the thing of the week and whatever the issue of the week is, since it is a debate coming up, we try to think of the debate questions and how we would put it to the other guy in the toughest way possible.
Okay.
So, you know, you would ask me a question. I got a couple out down here, economy, immigration, abortion. We ask the question, we let the other guy give their best pitch, and then the other person rebuts, and we try to do it like that.
Are we going to let the other person speak?
That's going to be the idea, including asking the question, right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough. Let's see if we can do it.
But we have to have some ground rules.
All right, fire away.
One.
Yeah.
I don't attack your intelligence. So you have to. No, I disagree with you on the issues.
Because last week I called you a blockhead.
No, you went much further than that. You constantly question my intelligence, and I have not been in this business for 40 years, Anthony, to survive and make it this far, to sit here across the table from you and have you question my intelligence.
That's fair enough. I will say, for the record, you're a smart man. But I want to say this, and since we're airing grievances, as we say in the business, I want to say that when you say I lie, when you mean that you disagree with me, lie is a pretty hot thing. We used to not say it in politics. We used to say, you know, lie is a hot thing to say. I'd like to think that I tell the truth, but we have our perspectives that are different. If you have an opinion, you're not lying, and if you think I lied about something, you've got it. I think
okay, so I'll stay away from lie, but a response, whether it's an opinion or not, it has to be based somewhat in reality. And so let's just try not to scream over each other.
Good point.
Because
it's terrible radio.
I don't want to go down that
By
road.
the way, since when did Trump supporters start living in the land of reality? That's a new thing. That's a dramatic improvement for this week. I want to thank you for joining us here in the land of the reality.
And where is Kamala Harris in terms of what's she doing? Is she doing anything of substance? Is she off of teleprompter yet?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. This is a tough week to be asking where's Donald Trump since he hasn't campaigned all week. Is his golf game getting better? I certainly hope so. Anyway, let's get back to what we decided to do.
And hey, the great news for the Trump family, his son Barron started the other day at NYU.
Good for him.
That's wonderful. Can we agree that's wonderful news?
It's great he's going to NYU. It tells me a little bit something about his common sense. He wants to be in New York City, a deep blue city. He wants to be in my neighborhood. If he ever wants to go out for a cup of coffee, I'll show him around a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Listen, I do think that, Barron is the best Trump kid. How about, can we agree on that?
I don't understand why you say he's
anyway,
the best,
I'm just kidding. Right. All right.
I mean,
so
I think Don Jr. is a solid person.
All right. Let's try to stick to it as best we can. So let's start it this way, and you'll tell me if you think this is a good way to do it. You make the best possible case for your candidate, and then I'll rebut, and then I'll make the best possible, kind of like the opening statements of the debate.
Okay.
Go ahead and get started.
Fair enough. So do you want me to talk as if I'm Trump or just...
No, I don't think that's necessary because you know too many words and Donald Trump knows very few. And as you said, you've now joined reality. So you be as articulate a spokesman as you always are to make the case for him.
Okay, so this contest comes down to experience. Who has it? Who doesn't have it? This contest comes down to someone that has not received a single vote at the top of the ticket for the Democrats. She's a fill-in solely based on Biden was not doing well. This contest comes down to a candidate that she was Biden's running mate. She says that she was always the last person in the room, so she has to own it. She has to own what happened in Afghanistan to those 13 soldiers and not being at Arlington National Cemetery and yet having the audacity to criticize Trump on it. I could go on, but in the interest of time, let me hear you go on with.
Well, if it is about experience, I'm going to kind of agree with you. It is about experience. We had an experience with Donald Trump as president. We've had an experience with him since 2015 when he came down that escalator. And every moment we have learned that he's not fit for office. We learned that he was not fit for office when he was there and the economy fell apart. We learned that when we had a crisis of COVID, not only didn't we have leadership, we had the absence of it. It's just going to go away any day now. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to mask when I'm having debate preps. I'm going to make my cabinet members sick. We saw what the experience was like, and the American people, in their judgment, voted him out. And they have never, a majority of Americans has never, ever voted for Donald Trump. You want to talk about how many people voted for Kamala Harris. And you forget, in 2015, what experience, or 2016 when he was running, what experience did Donald Trump had? He was a business guy that had failed in a lot of businesses, had bankruptcies left and right. Kamala Harris, at the same time, was going through the course that people often go through to become to get to higher office. And I will say this. We have something else we've experienced. We've experienced a guy that uses hate. He uses divisive language. He doesn't know the meaning of the word sorry. When you violate the laws at Arlington Cemetery, it's perfectly fine to say, listen, we got that wrong. I'm going to hold people accountable, but let's get back to talking about Afghanistan. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. We've experienced this, and time again, the American people have said, we don't like Donald Trump. He didn't win the popular vote in 2016, didn't win it obviously in 2020, and he's not winning it today, according to the polls. And so that's what, and I'll let you rebut to my rebut.
The popular vote is not how we decide a president in America. You very well know that. Trump, you made it so your argument was based on this is a referendum on Trump. I noticed in your opening you did not say anything really about experience that Kamala Harris brings to the table. And so she cannot get to the White House in terms of being the president of the United States when she is a backup candidate at best. At worst, she can't get off that teleprompter. You know it. I know it. Does she, on Tuesday night, does she think that she's going to bring that teleprompter out with her?
Well, listen, the reason I talked about Donald Trump's experience is that was your argument for your candidate. Experience. So I met you where you chose to go with experience. I can argue about all kinds of different subjects. I can argue about his positions, but you went to experience, so I matched it on experience. As far as how she became the nominee, look, we have many different processes for choosing nominees. We have caucuses. We have primaries. If you remember, Donald Trump became the candidate in 2016. He never got 50% in any of the caucuses or primaries. It was always 30, 35, 36%, because that's what the rule is. But whatever the rules are, these are the candidates, Dominic. You can lament how she got here all you want. She was chosen by the delegates to our convention, and if Donald Trump dropped out and they named someone else, we would have to run against that person if it was done lawfully and legally, and it was. And let me just say one other thing about this whole idea that Kamala Harris doesn't have experience or she's on a teleprompter, whatever it is. Look, her record is district attorney, lawyer, district attorney, attorney general, senator, vice president. Okay, now, I don't know what you want in there. She's not as qualified as Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State. Maybe you want H.W. Bush was CIA director. Maybe you want some other qualifications. But if you look at that same lineage, what is Donald Trump? Someone who violated housing laws, someone who had bankruptcy, someone who had a fake college, someone during that same period of time. I will put experiences up side to side anytime.
One, notice I didn't interrupt you. But you're issuing several things. You're stating several things that are just not true. You said that Trump violated housing laws. When?
The Trump organization pleaded guilty to violating housing.
The Trump organization.
Yes, I'm holding him responsible.
Okay, but it was the father's company at the time. So how do you hold Trump responsible?
Actually, okay, fair enough.
Okay, so that's one. Everything you just said, I can go down on the list.
I mean, I would keep going. What about the fake university? What about the bankruptcies?
Okay.
What about the fraud? I mean, if you really want to own only what Donald Trump did, these are all things he's found guilty of doing. I haven't even gotten to the 34 convictions.
And what the 34 convictions, we'll see what happens. That in all likelihood will be overturned. You know it, I know it.
There's now been 6 times he's taken the Dominic theory, I'm going to get it overturned, and 6 times it hasn't been. He's going to be sentenced. And listen, all I can tell you is this, and we should move on to the Kamala argument because I know you have a lot of things to say about Kamala, is that if you want to hold him accountable for his record, for what he accomplished, for what his experiences are, his experiences at the same time she was the Attorney General and District Attorney, he was literally someone opening a fraudulent college, right? So take those 2 experiences and judge them how you will. But to say she's not qualified to be president, and if reading off a teleprompter is the best you got, yes, she reads off a teleprompter at rallies.
With all due respect to the vice president, that woman is a complete empty suit. You know it.
You've never offered any evidence of that.
Okay. All you have to do is listen to her on the stump.
No, I want you to give evidence. That's listening is not evidence. Give me something that she said that you think is dumb.
Well, how did she get into politics?
How did she get into politics?
Right.
She ran for attorney general.
No, that's not how she got into politics. You know how she got into politics.
So you're going to do this sexist thing about how she slept her way to the top.
How did she get into politics?
She ran for district attorney in San Francisco, putting people in prison like Donald Trump.
Is that how she got her experience?
Yes.
No, that's not. See, that's what I mean about.
What do you suggest? You're suggesting what? You said she's dumb. Tell me the evidence that you have for that.
I didn't say she was dumb.
You said she's an empty suit.
A complete empty suit.
Okay, can you explain that term if you don't mean dumb? Maybe I'm misunderstanding all these weeks.
Okay, a complete empty suit is close to dumb, but I'm not insulting the vice.
Yes,
I'm
you
trying
are.
my best.
By saying you're being misogynistic and sexist by saying she slept her way to the top. Just say it. Have the courage of your convictions.
No, see, here we go. Have the courage.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm saying you're saying she's an empty suit, but she's not dumb. What are you saying?
Medication today? Did you take your medication today?
You shouldn't insult people who are disabled and need to take medication.
Well, I'm just
asking. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be like Donald Trump. Your candidate is an insensitive.
The Weiner temper is starting to begin.
I am passionate.
You started out nice and cool.
Calling me names.
But the Weiner, I called you names.
You called her names.
Oh, what did I? I'm not
you
calling
her
her
names.
Suit. She is.
That's a name. Do we agree it's a name?
She's going
stick to your convictions, Dominic. I know what you're saying is misogynistic, and you're not a misogynistic guy, but you've got to do the company line.
Anthony, you don't get to tell me what to do.
We're not telling you what to do.
You just said stick to your convictions.
Oh, yeah, I'm giving you advice. That's advice.
Anthony,
that's advice.
You don't get to tell me what to do.
I take it back. Don't stick to your convictions.
So let's be clear about that.
Don't stick to your convictions then, Dominic.
You state your opinion. I'll state my opinion.
Don't stick to your convictions.
You can't back yours up with substance.
I totally can. You're the one that says empty soup, but I think she's smart.
No,
make up your mind.
Did I say I think she's smart? Did I say that once?
Do you?
Did I say that?
You said she's an empty suit. Then I
said an empty suit, and then you said dumb.
And then you said not dumb.
And then I said I don't want to offend the vice president by calling her dumb.
Empty suit is an insult. This is a stupid argument. Are you done making it?
No. It's not a stupid.
She's an empty suit without being dumb.
Did you take your
Dominic,
medication?
don't insult the disabled.
Did you take your medication?
I don't need medication.
No, you do.
The only medication.
You do. Because you can't have a reasonable argument without it becoming personal.
It's not reasonable to say.
Is that the only way you can win?
It's not
and
reasonable.
You don't win. You make a fool out of yourself.
Who's talking over who now, Dominic?
I'm talking because.
Okay, I'll wait.
Because you try to.
I'm waiting.
Almost like you're my father, you try and tell me what I'm going to say. And those days are over. I'm not going to take another second of your nonsense, Anthony Weiner. So you have the floor. Go ahead and speak. Go ahead and pout. That's what you do.
Okay. Now, let's see how long your pause for me to respond is. When you say someone is an empty suit, yes, Dominic, that's an insult. If you have the courage of your convictions, you'll stick to it. If you want to not call an empty suit, don't do it. But when I say you're characterizing her as being somehow dumb, and you're like, no, I'm not, it's because you want to have it both ways. You want to defend a misogynistic asshole, but you don't want to be one. I get the position that you're in. It's very difficult. And my advice was, I'm not telling you what to do. And stop playing the victim. It doesn't suit you. I'm not telling you. Are you interrupting me, Dominic? Dominic, are you interrupting?
I'm not. Yeah, no. You're insulting me. I'm not a victim.
You're interrupting.
No, I'm not a victim. And no. See, here's the problem with. Okay, well, so do you want me to shut up or can I say something?
I want you to shut up.
Well, you don't have that right. You don't have that right. And you're not going to have that right ever again.
So here we are again.
You're not going to have that right.
Once again,
That's over
I waited for you to finish,
Anthony.
and you wouldn't let me finish.
I tried to give
so
you
there you go.
the
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Of having
no, you
a
didn't.
conversation
So here we are
with
again,
you.
Dominic.
But Anthony, everything you say out of your mouth is nonsense.
Okay.
Everything you
I'll
say
wait for you,
is
Dominic.
nonsense.
You're interrupting me, but I'll let you continue.
But okay, so I'm trying to
permit you to continue.
No,
I'm permitting
me.
you.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Watch.
That you get to permit me.
I am permitting
you. Who do you think you are?
This is me taking the high ground and you on the low ground. Me on the high ground, you on the low ground.
First of all, you couldn't be on the high ground if it slapped you in the face.
As the kids would say, talk to the hand.
If you couldn't take the high ground if it slapped you in the face.
I've got it right now. I'm permitting you to speak.
You are not my master. You're trying to get under my skin.
In this case,
and you don't get to permit me to speak.
Yeah.
So let's put.
I'm permitting you now. Own it, pal.
No. I'm speaking because I want to speak. I'm speaking because you have nothing of value.
I command you to continue to speak.
Right. Good. Right. See, it's not funny, Anthony.
It is.
I want to know seriously that you take your medication.
It's hilarious.
I want to know that you take your medication because you start out.
I'm permitting you to continue.
You start out and you say that we're going to be cool with each other, and I'm sitting here listening to all this nonsense you're talking about.
No,
the race.
you're interrupting instead, but I'm permitting you to continue that.
No.
Because
Anthony,
I'm feeling good today. I'm permitting you to continue.
Anthony, see,
you have my permission.
Anthony, your joke. I don't need your permission for anything. For anything. Anything in life.
Okay. Now that I've permitted you to talk, I'm going to take back the microphone
That's not funny.
I think it's hilarious.
It's not funny.
I think it's
not
hilarious.
funny. And for a white person to say to a black person,
would you stop
I'm permitting you to speak.
Nobody does.
Is disgusting. And you, Mr. Black Man, you sit up here and talk
playing
all this
the race
nonsense.
card. It doesn't work.
You talk all this nonsense. Oh, I'm the defender of black people. And you're sitting up here,
Dominic.
and 5 or 6 times you have offended a high-profile black male. So that makes you an absolute hypocrite.
Empty
and
suit
phony.
who slept away to the top. Oh, stop it, Dominic.
Did I call you an empty suit?
No, Dominic. No, you called a black woman.
Suit. Okay,
and you insulted whether she's black or not. Dominic, a lot of people can play the race card. You can't.
Okay.
You've been saying racist things for weeks now.
First of all,
you say race, and you defended a race, and your candidates are racist.
First of all, you said Trump. From the moment he came down the stairs, what did he do wrong when he came down the stairs?
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
I'm not done. You interrupted me when I was in the middle. All right, now I'm going to get back to my point. What I was saying is if you are going to say...
Be careful. You're getting mighty close. This is not a dictatorship.
Dominic, can you just be quiet?
This is not a dictatorship.
Right, I'll let you continue.
Okay?
I will let you continue to talk.
You're not letting me do a
That's
damn thing.
That's exactly what I'm doing now.
No, you're not.
Last week I talked over you. This week I'm going to permit you.
No, you're not.
Go ahead.
No. Last week you made a complete fool out of yourself.
Go ahead, my young friend.
You're trying to clean it up now.
Continue.
And newsflash, you are not nearly as smart as you think you are, Anthony Weiner.
Yeah, I'm pretty
okay?
I'm pretty smart.
No, you're not.
I have to be smarter than you.
You have the same state university education that I have.
That's true. But I went to Plattsburgh.
Okay.
Cortland.
Okay.
Good grief.
Okay, so I mean, so we went to the same level.
I know,
of
but look at you now. You've got you're following a cult leader. You're in a cult now.
Oh, and
so
you're standing up here, and you're standing up here defending someone with no credentials.
I mean, according to you, she's an empty suit who slept her way to the top. A racist thing to say. According to someone who just has found out that she's black. A racist thing to say. Of all the people that can play the race card, Dominic, you might be the last person on earth.
And you're not the defender of black people, Anthony. You think you are, but you're not.
I'll let you continue.
And frankly,
I'll let you continue. I will now permit you. I will once again, for the fourth time, permit you to continue.
Frankly, you're not permitting me to do a goddamn
I totally am. I could talk over you.
That's number one.
I did that last week.
Right, and you made a complete ass out of yourself.
But I talked over you.
Right, but
I
you
can
made
do
a
that too.
complete ass out of yourself.
Right, let's go.
Right.
Let's go. I will permit you to continue 5 times.
Did you take your medication?
5 times.
That's all I want to know.
Oh, Dominic repeating a line because he's stuck. Yeah,
did you take your medication? That's all I want to know.
6 times he's going to ask that line.
Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead. I'm permitting you to speak.
Thank you, Dominic. That's called being polite.
No,
I'm glad you learned.
It's called I'm checking you,
I'm glad
Anthony.
you learned to be polite in this room.
And you know what? I challenge you to a boxing match.
There it is. That's done.
How come you don't want to box?
That's done.
How come you got all this mouth?
That's done.
I challenge you to a charity boxing match.
Hey,
how come you won't do it?
I beat you on this show every week.
You don't beat me. Why do you think they have me here?
They have you here because they need someone for me to pummel. No one else wants to do it.
No.
You're the only one.
I
give you credit
because you need need somebody to bring in ratings,
Dominic,
and it's not you.
I give you that's for darn sure. You get great ratings. People love listening to me beat the crap out of you every week.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
Go ahead. You can speak.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. As I was saying, you said, as you've said week after week, Kamala Harris is an empty suit. I ask you, defend that position. You are calling her dumb. Oh, I'm not calling her dumb. I've got some other definition that I'm using for empty suit, and you can never do it. So you revert to lines. It is a form of misogyny. And then you say, well, how did she get ahead? And Willie Brown, I had to look that up back in the day. She dated Willie Brown, so now she slept her way to the top. You know who Donald Trump slept with? Who he raped? You know who he raped? He was found guilty and liable.
Be careful with your language.
That's what the judge used the word rape.
Because you can end up being sued.
Judge used good. Judge used the word rape. I'm going to echo the word of what he was found criminally liable for. Liable for rape. And you're his defender. And we'll be right back.
It's the left versus the right. Now, to the Bernard McGurk Studios, it's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. 77 WABC.
So welcome back to Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on your left, Dominic Carter on your right. If you miss any part of the show, get it as a podcast. Also check out Dominic's show. My show, not too much, but check out Dominic's show.
No, your show is good
Thank
until
you
get here.
I know. You say that every week about me. I think your show
is true.
I think your show is excellent.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You
get on the Red Apple Podcast Network or anywhere that you get shows. And the other thing is, check out his show on the day of the debate, which is on the 10th. He's going to have a little bit of a preview and a post-view. He's on at both sides of it, so it'll be worth listening to. All right, well, I never got a chance to do my case for Kamala and your rebuttal.
Okay, let's hear
It's appropriate. We did a whole segment about Trump. Yeah. Let's see if we can do a little time. Look, here's my case for Kamala Harris, is that we are in a time in American civic life where we don't want to go back. We don't want to go back to the old way of deciding that some people can't vote. We don't want to go back to people losing their rights that they have as Americans. We don't want to go back and keep making the same mistakes that we've made before. And Kamala Harris says, listen, I'm from a different generation. I'm not Joe Biden. I'm not Donald Trump. I'm saying let's move us forward to defend the things that we have, defend our rights. And yes, I know you don't like talking about it, but one of them is for the first time in American history, Americans lost a right because of Donald Trump. And people are upset about that. They want to go forward. They want to advance their rights, not lose rights. And the Supreme Court has said that now we are going to go back to a time when the president could do whatever he wanted to do, can violate laws even worse than it was under Nixon. She's saying, no, I want to move forward. I want to turn the page. And you know what, Dominic? The reason there's so much enthusiasm right now in the American people and among Democrats, is that in a divided country that we are today, at least let's be divided by moving forward, not going back to the same old thing. And the other thing is this, is that you can critique the Biden administration. Some things were good, some things were not. I did a whole episode this week on the Middle Unplugged about what happened in Afghanistan, that it was Donald Trump that released 5,000 Taliban fighters, didn't get back our one hostage. It was Donald Trump that drew down forces to 2,500 and never wrote a plan. He agreed in the Doha Agreement to get out and then screwed it up. I think that people want to move forward to a place that is, we're not name calling all the time. We're trying to bring people together and lift them up, and Kamala Harris does that.
Okay, so I think I deserve a pat on the back for listening to that weak argument in support of Kamala Harris. Number one, you're twisting the facts. And I'll try this. I tried this last week. I'll try it again. Hopefully it doesn't get us in trouble. The 13 American soldiers that died, which administration did it happen under?
It happened in the Biden administration, and the 50 that died in the Trump administration.
Okay. No, 13 soldiers that died because of the quick withdrawal that was advised against. It happened under the Biden-Harris administration. Now, maybe you're not aware of this information, but according to those Gold Star families, some of them that did, at least 5 or 6, did a video. Some chose to stay private. They are blasting the vice president as a complete hypocrite, that she was never there to meet the bodies when the bodies came back, that this was the 3rd anniversary. She's never shown up to be with the families. So she's the last person on earth, her and Biden, that can criticize Trump as it relates to these issues. You are stating let's not go back. But are you comfortable and I guess this is a rhetorical question, are you comfortable putting the hands of America and the fate of this woman? We don't know where she stands on half the issues. The issues that we do know almost amount to communism. She does a complete opposite to get votes on fracking. It would be one thing to say, let's go to the future, if she wasn't locked on a teleprompter at all times. What does it say that she never speaks to the American people unless she's on teleprompter?
Well, let me just take those in order. First of all, when Donald Trump came into office, there were 10,000 troops in Afghanistan. He drew it down to 2,500 and announced in advance we're going to be out of there by Christmas. And, you know, he never asked his generals to draw up a plan for how. He goes to Doha and releases 5,000 Taliban fighters. And by the way, I guess you forget this. In 2019, he says, let's invite the Taliban to Camp David to have direct talks with them. Now, obviously, someone talked him out of doing that because he wanted to do it on September 11th. Okay, this is the judgment of the guy that you're talking about. And listen, you raised a couple of points. You said we don't know what Kamala Harris wants to do about the economy. Well, what is Donald Trump's plan? Donald Trump said he stood in front of a bunch of chopped meat at Bedminster and said, I'll bring down prices on day one. What is his position on Putin? He says, I'll end that on the first day I get in with a phone call. He says on elections, he still to this day denies the results of the election and tried with an insurrection to overturn our government. So, yes, you're right. There's some things that we don't know about new presidents. But we have a president, Donald Trump, that we saw for 4 years, and it was a disaster. The first president since Hoover that lost jobs. Okay. And this administration has averaged more job creation than any president in American history by month. Now, if you want to blame Harris for Afghanistan, fine. Give her credit for the good stuff.
Okay. Number one, I'm ready to bang my head on the table because I'm sitting here listening to talking points nonsense. One by one. So you mentioned Putin and
yes,
let's
right? Start with Putin.
Okay, so did Putin go? Did the situation with Ukraine start? Did it happen under Trump?
Well, we have no idea.
Also, you're not going to answer. Because
we say, when did it start? We have no idea. I mean, first of all, Putin, as Donald Trump's own administration said, Putin put a finger on the scale to try to get Trump elected in 2016 and tried again in 2020. We have no idea, and I'm holding up. We have no idea. We know Donald Trump money rules all, so we have no idea what agreement he made with Putin.
So let the camera know that he completely ducked my question.
What was it? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, Dominic. What was it?
You never answer the questions. You never. All you do is resort.
You don't like my answer because it makes your candidate look foolish, and that's what I do for a living. I'm sorry, my man.
No. I just wish that when I see left versus right,
yes,
it means yes,
trademark.
Talking points, but we have to be candid in our assessments and honest. And I'll raise something to you that we both know the answer, and you go into immediate.
No, you said when did it start? And I'm saying Putin has been working with Trump for a decade now.
Okay, so
it started under Trump.
So
there you go.
So what I asked you was, did Putin invade Ukraine?
You didn't. You said when did it start?
Okay,
the answer is no. He invaded under Biden.
Okay, so then your whole point is mute. Trump says no war under him. Go to the grocery store, Anthony, right?
Right. So in
the gas station.
So in that case, don't vote for FDR because of Pearl Harbor. All right. I see your point. But what is your candidate? This is a debate. What is your candidate's position on the Ukraine war? What should we do? What side are you on? What side am I on? What side is Donald Trump on? I'm curious.
Okay. So fair question. But you have the nerve to ask me what Trump's position is.
Yes.
We don't know Kamala Harris's
100% we do.
Or anything.
100%. But she has said again and again and again as a point of contrast, I want to stick with Ukraine because they're our ally. Your guy has said not.
When has she ever said that?
She said that in the rally twice in the last 10 days.
On teleprompter. And you know. You don't
know her position, or you don't like the way that she read it off the teleprompter?
I would have a lot of respect.
Can we return to Trump since I don't know?
Okay, here we go cutting me off. But go ahead.
Well,
it's your nature.
Listen, when you lecture me about non-answered questions, and then I ask what's Donald Trump's position, and you won't answer. What am I supposed to do? To say, okay, that's fine?
No. You know why I'm not answering? Because
I do know why. Yes, Dominic, I do.
Because Trump has said under me, these situations wouldn't happen. And I believe him.
Okay, fine.
And so,
but now they've happened. So what is his position today when he gets into office? Presumably he's going to get into office, right?
I'm going to say there's no presumably about it. He's going to win the election. The destruction of Kamala Harris will start in about 72 hours from now on that debate stage.
Okay, lovely. Okay, God. That's great. You're amazing at seeing the future. Do you want to tell me his position on Ukraine, or are you going to keep ducking?
There you go with your
This
antics.
is you ducking?
Ukraine?
Ukraine Putin?
No,
hey, I'm a Trump supporter.
Nope, I'm not ducking. I'm not ducking. What I am doing...
Because you're a good American, and your candidate is a stoolie for the Russians.
No. What I am doing is Trump has stated... how he would handle the situation very clear.
He said I'll resolve it on day one. He hasn't told me how. Share with all of us what he means.
Okay, and I believe him. It didn't happen on his watch.
You don't know. So you're prepared, the biggest foreign policy thing, you're prepared to just say, I trust you, boss.
And we can come back to Russia, but, something...
Are we ever going to... Are we, though?
Had a flashback.
Are we going to come back to Russia?
You accused Trump of... No, you didn't say...
Are we going to come back to the question I asked?
I thought it was sexual assault.
I'll wait for it.
I thought it was sexual assault, and you just stood here and said the man raped somebody.
No, the judge said the common parlance for what you were found guilty of was rape. The judge said that. So sue me. I don't have any money. You can come sue me. He won't. The judge said that. Is it news to you? He was found criminally liable. I'll repeat it for our audience. Criminally liable for raping a woman.
And I assume you're referring to the E. Jean Carroll case?
I am.
And you think she was a credible witness?
You're going to defend Donald Trump.
Of course I am.
Good for you. Okay, good.
Of course
Can we get back to the Ukraine thing? You promised me you're going to answer. I'm waiting for it.
Just like I defend Mike Tyson on the case that he had.
Not happening.
I don't think
Ukraine
in Indiana,
answer that I was promised
I don't think
ain't happening.
in Indiana that Mike Tyson raped that young lady.
Very relevant to the conversation.
So of course it's relevant.
Very relevant.
You don't
you
get to
promised me you would get
what's
to the
relevant.
I know
you don't get to determine.
Mr. Aggrieved.
No,
don't be
it's
so
not,
snowflakey, Dominic.
No.
Don't be so soft.
No. It's just that you think you're a tough guy.
You don't get to tell me wah.
You think you're a tough guy, and you're not.
All right. You said you were going to answer the Ukraine question. Please do.
Okay, I'm going to say it now for the third time.
I'll answer it later.
I'm going to say it. No, I'm going to say it.
You don't know the answer, do you? No, what Trump's policy is on that. So don't ever complain.
I'm going to say it for the third time.
It wasn't that good the first time, Dominic.
Okay.
It wasn't that good the first time. You did not answer it.
It may not be
good
enough for you.
You said I don't know.
I did not say I do not know.
You said I don't know.
I did not. I said Trump
I don't know, but.
I did not. I said Trump says that under his administration, this situation would have never have happened.
I'm not talking about that.
And
that wasn't the question. Okay, Stop repeating that part. That's not the question.
So
what
you
would have happened?
Tell me what to say. Here we go again.
Did I hurt your feeling, Dominic?
No. Anthony.
Dominic, you said you'd answer a question. You didn't lie, did you? You didn't lie. You weren't trying to.
In past segments, I tolerated you. I'm no longer tolerating.
Okay, well, answer the question. Get back to the debate.
Smart Alec.
You're doing Mike Tyson to try to hide. That ain't going to work.
Mike Tyson.
You're doing Mike Tyson in the court of Indiana about your candidate being a rapist.
No. First of all, he's not a rapist.
He was found criminally liable for rape.
And the charge is the 34 counts is going to be overturned.
Oh, yeah. What about that?
And what are you going to say then? What are you going to say then?
I said I trust the criminal justice system. Does your candidate? Do you? You keep saying the jury can't be trusted, the prosecutor can't be trusted, the FBI can't be trusted. Everyone's wrong except your guy who was indicted all over the place.
No. Okay, so why wasn't the trial on Staten Island? Come on. You know why it was held in Manhattan. You know why.
The crimes took place in Manhattan. God, you don't understand the law very well, do you, my man?
There you go insulting me.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go insulting me.
This time you got it right.
No, I understand.
Right on the nose you got it this time.
I understand the law.
You know why it's not Staten Island.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, did the crime take place?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Did he rape someone on Staten Island also?
He didn't rape anybody in Manhattan.
Oh, wait a minute. Did he hire a porn star in Staten Island? Come on, let us know. You're on the inside. You're his friend.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Did he try to subvert an election on Staten Island? Oh, wait a minute. You know. You said you want the trial on Staten Island. Trials happen where the crimes happen. No. You said why it's on Staten Island.
That's not. Do trials always happen where the crime happens?
Yes. It's basically it's in the Sixth Amendment.
No.
The Sixth Amendment guarantees it.
So then you don't know what you're talking about. I have to tell you the
Constitution now.
So you don't know what you're talking about.
I totally do.
The trials always happen where the crime is committed.
Yes, that's the way it works.
That is not true.
That's the way it works.
What happened in the Amadou Diallo case?
I don't know what happened to the
case in point, you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
the
go ahead.
case was moved from the Bronx up to Albany. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you want to move to Staten Island?
No, you said
because
that it's
you
always
think,
tried in the place where it happened.
It's the Sixth Amendment.
That's
you have a right.
Not true.
You have a right. Okay. All right. Now, are you happy? You're now in the 1980s like you were last week. You want to go back to 1950s to make us forget what a lousy president your guy is and how you still have an answer about what his plan is for Ukraine?
You don't want me to
then.
focus on substance.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the one raising
every single week.
I'm the one raising.
You don't know what you're talking about.
First it was.
And you need your medication.
Why don't you ask me? I was just going to say you beat me to it. Why don't you ask me again about my medication?
Right.
Every
Did you
week.
take it this morning?
9 times. Ask it again, please. I beg you.
But you didn't answer it.
Because last week it worked so well when you repeated the same thing to kill time.
No, last week neither of us got a chance to say anything.
You did the same thing over and over again.
You were
literally doing echo.
And you don't know your facts. You're not as smart as you think you are.
Okay. Anything else besides?
I know you believe that, and you probably would have won the race for mayor.
Thank you.
But you're not as smart as you think you are.
But first of all, all I have to be, it's kind of like you don't have to be the fastest guy in the woods. You have to be faster than the bear. So long as someone else is behind you. You're behind me.
I'm not behind you.
You are.
Okay,
you are.
So how am I behind you? Tell me.
In the following way.
Tell me.
In the following way. That you don't recognize that sometimes when your candidate does things that are just that are basically indefensible, like being a racist, misogynist asshole, say I'm sorry for my candidate, but I like him for other reasons. When someone says to you he has no plan for Ukraine, you say, yeah, he's got no plan for Ukraine, but at least he's not that woman. And if you have the chutzpah to say a woman is an empty suit, don't run away like a coward when I say you mean she's dumb. You're like, oh no, I didn't say that. You're implying that she slept her way to the top. You're defending a misogynist.
I'm not implying anything. Number two.
Say it.
Number
say
two.
It. Show the courage of your convictions.
You don't get to tell me what to say.
Because you're cowardly.
You
say
don't get to tell me what to say.
Don't say it then.
You don't get that.
Don't say
you
it then.
don't have that right.
Don't say it then.
So if I call the vice president an empty suit, you don't get to turn around and say, oh, you're saying she's dumb.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I'm the listener to those words.
I use the words that I want to use.
I'm the listener. Empty suit. What is it?
I use the words that I want to use.
You don't have the courage of your convictions. You want the last word?
And you do.
And I do.
And you do.
And I do. And we'll be right back after this break.
It's the left versus the right. It's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. 77 WABC.
So welcome back to Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on your left. Dominic Carter on right. A special debate spectacular.
Yes.
Is what we have here.
Yes.
And we're showing what happens when you don't turn off the microphones. Right?
No,
this is why you turn on the mic. You have a mute switch so that when you're talking, I can't talk. When I'm talking, you can't talk. The world's a better up. But we'll see how it goes. How do you, before we go to the next issue.
Excuse me, Vice President. I'm talking. Excuse me,
You're not
Vice
putting on a
President.
black accent, are you?
Excuse me, Vice President. I'm talking.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Vice President.
Let the audience know what you're doing now, just in case they missed it.
What I'm doing is a female impersonation of Kamala Harris's career highlight in the debate with Pence,
which no one saw.
And this is why she wanted an open mic, because she's trying to lead Trump into a trap, but it's not going to work
because Trump's disciplined.
Because he is disciplined. He is disciplined.
He's
very disciplined.
Eric, please cut that.
Can
I cut that into a bumper? I want that as a bumper. You say, all right, I'm going to stop. I don't want to talk over you this time. Can you please do that whole riff again about how disciplined Donald Trump is? Because I want to make it into a bumper. And go.
Trump is very disciplined. He's disciplined as the president of the United States of America, and he's disciplined for this second term. So pretty soon, starting with this debate, in about 72 hours, the beginning of the end happens for Kamala Harris.
But that discipline part.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not going to let you go on forever.
Here we go.
Pure gold.
So here
Pure
we go.
gold.
So here we go. Anthony wants to tell me what I'm going to say, and he wants
Dominic,
to
you have something you want to get off your chest by me telling you what to do. You keep saying this over and over again.
No. You know why?
We're both talking whenever we want to talk. There's no rules in this thing.
You know why? Because week after week, I felt bad for you because I know you don't have the arguments on your side.
Okay.
And so I pulled back. What they call
you did. You pulled back.
So a boxer, pulled his punch because he didn't want to hurt Ali.
Got it.
Because Muhammad Ali was past his prime. That's what I've been doing to you every week.
Got it.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Okay, lovely.
Because you don't have the facts nor the substance nor know what you're talking about.
We'll let the listeners decide. All right, let's go to the third.
Amen to that. The listeners decide.
Go
ahead.
All right. So the third issue I've written down here in our rundown that we're not going to get to is immigration. I think. Or do you want to do the economy first? What issue you want to do first? Let's do immigration, and let's assume the country says the question of immigration. Who do you trust? Go ahead. You speak, and then I'll go second.
That one is easy. If I'm Trump, I say, look at what's happening around the country. Look at the amount of women that are being murdered in horrible, vicious ways, from Georgia to Syracuse, New York, where that idiot tried to walk the body out, the migrant. I say we're going to turn this around. And when I'm president, as I promised, we will get rid of as many migrants out of the country as possible. If you want to come back the legal way, that's something else. But until then, you're gone. Bye.
Okay, so Donald Trump, I assume the last thing you were referring to is Donald Trump's proposal to do a mass deportation. So he hasn't explained how he's going to do that, who he's going to deport. I guess now the Republican Party believes let's hire lots of people to stand on the street and say, show me your papers, like other famous,
not a bad idea. Not
like
a bad
other
idea.
famous fascists have done.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. Standing on the street saying, let me see your papers, like other fascists have done. Look, I want to tell you something. We've got problems with our immigration laws. They need to be fixed every so often. This year, one candidate, Kamala Harris, as part of an administration, said, all right, let's fix it. Let's pass some laws to improve it. And one person got in the way. And what that person, Donald Trump, got in the way of was 1,500 new border officers, something Dominic Carter and supports. More fentanyl tracking, something Dominic Carter supports, and more adjudication officers, so people who come in and ask for asylum, they can be treated in months rather than years. And it was Donald Trump that stopped those things from happening because he wanted the political issue. He's now succeeded in getting the political issue. But what I will say is, if you want someone to fix a problem, you can look at 4 years of Donald Trump. Look at the Donald Trump Immigration Reform Act of 2007. Oh, wait a minute. There was no Donald Trump Reform Act of 2017 or 18 or 19. He never did it because the same way with infrastructure and everything else, he's incapable of legislating. That's why he was thrown out of office on his ass.
Okay. So now I listened to your nonsense for 30 seconds? It seemed like an hour. But what you're leaving out of all of this is, what did Biden do? The Democratic talking point is Trump got in the way and stopped the bipartisan. You hear it all the time.
Is that true?
It's like pull out. I don't know what happened.
He says he did.
Okay, you pull out the.
He says he did, and you believe everything your cult leader says.
I listen to you patiently, and you're interrupting me every 3 seconds.
That's a sin. I'm a sinner. Go, please continue.
No, you didn't take your medication today. That's what it is.
Man, refresh. Hit refresh on your lines. But go ahead.
No. Okay, so the violin, as it relates to migrants. The fact of the matter is, the Biden administration, first of all, let's talk about the debate with Trump, where he signaled to the migrants that as soon as I'm elected, you can come in. And that's exactly what has happened. And what's been the result of that? What did the Biden, Kamala Harris do for 3.5 years? You're talking about this bill. And that's every Democrat in the country talks about that bill. Is that the best you got? Is there anything else you got?
What legislation would fix the problem? Yes, it was passed. It would have been passed. But why? But
what happened in 3 years that Biden was president?
Well, for one thing, crime was coming down 25% in the country.
Okay, no, I asked you what did Biden do?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you referred to crime earlier. High-profile crimes, because apparently your knowledge of crime doesn't go past the second page of the New York Post.
Okay, so I asked you, what did Biden do for 3 years on
his first day in
issue?
Office? He sent to Congress a proposal, and the Republicans in the House of Representatives refused to move on it.
So why didn't he move on executive order?
Because they were deemed to be illegal by the courts under the Trump administration.
So that's why. So then, why move going into an election year?
He's getting sued because the first choice of a legislature is to legislate the law. He needs the law fixed. The law needs to get fixed no matter what the president does. I know you think that the way our government works is you put brown-shirted troopers out on the street to ask people for their papers, like in Nazi Germany. No, most of us believe in the legislative process to fix laws.
So do you want to keep permitting these illegal migrants to come into the country?
They aren't illegal. They're asking for asylum. That's actually legal under the law. If Donald Trump wanted to change that law, he could have done it in 17. Oh, by the way, he gave a speech in 2019 that said the laws need to get fixed. Are you aware of that? I mean, you listen to my show, so you must be.
I do listen to your show.
Are we done with immigration? It sounds like you're ready to give up.
No. It's just that I don't understand.
You're not used to anyone punching back on immigration.
No.
This is how the other side sounds on immigration.
No. How you sound representing Democrats right now. So it's not personal. Representing Democrats right now. You have no argument, and you're trying to make an argument when there exists none. The fact of the matter is,
rebut it then.
So you still haven't told me where Kamala Harris stands on the issues. No, notice you want the argument where it's just on Trump.
Now I'm getting the feeling that you're not listening to what she's reading off the teleprompter. She said at the Democratic Convention of all places, I think you watched that, she says, I will sign that bipartisan deal that Donald Trump killed. What more do you need to know? She says she supports it, and she'll be the president.
Okay, so what did she do for 3.5 years as vice president as it relates to immigration?
Well, it's a good question. One of the things that she was assigned to do is, you understand, there is a reason why people get up from their home country and decide, I'm going to trek thousands of miles away and risk my life to try to get to the United States. And many people have argued, me among them, have argued that very often our policies in this country chase them out of their home country. We stifle the economy in Venezuela because we don't like Maduro. We try to kill drug dealers in Colombia and make a civil war. And these people are trying to survive. They didn't have medication for COVID, for example. They had inflation of 700%. So her job was to try to go to those countries and say, what can we do to help you keep these people here before they trek 5,000 miles? There's your answer. You know what that's called? Governing. Something that Donald Trump and his administration didn't understand, like when they withdrew all the troops out of Afghanistan with no plan to pull the rest out.
Did the migrants come under the Trump administration?
They did. They've come under every administration by the millions.
They have come predominantly.
You didn't care then about caravans. Remember Donald Trump with the caravans?
Okay.
He invented the caravan.
They have come predominantly.
Not predominantly, but more under Biden. No doubt about it. This has been a terrible time because of COVID. COVID was the principal reason people...
It's been a terrible time because Biden-Harris was elected.
Okay, great. Okay, but why people get up and leave their house? They're not reading Politico when they do it. They're trying to feed their kids. They're trying to get to the United States.
Oh, stop with the bleeding heart.
No, I'm explaining to you how...
pimping.
I'm explaining to you how immigration works.
The American people.
Right. That's some real highbrow stuff right there.
They're fleeing political persecution.
Maybe. No, not political. Economic, by and large. This is why we have to fix our laws. By the way, you want to do a Tyson line now that you're doing pimping? I mean, that's usually a sign you've run out of literate things to say when you do pimping.
No, not at all.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's go to the economy.
There you go again. You have the same state university education that I have.
Stop feeling so...
The same exact one.
Dominic,
you do not get to take the higher ground and act holier than thou.
Dominic,
you are not smarter than me.
When did you become so sensitive and soft?
Because you crossed the line.
When did I cross?
Last week. You crossed the line.
I apologize at the beginning of the show.
You will never cross the line again.
All right.
Every time you attempt to go to that line, I'm going to check you.
All right, Dominic.
Every single time.
Dominic, I sense that you're very sensitive, and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
It's just that if I'm being honest with you, you were never too bright to begin with.
That's great. You see? Now look at this. This is me. I'm from Brooklyn. Call me not so bright. I look down and I go to the next subject.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
The economy.
Right. Well, I mean, that's you.
Dominic, I'm tougher than you. That's all there is to it. You don't hear me.
I challenged you to a charity boxing match, and you didn't take it.
Dominic,
if you're tougher than me,
I know.
I can beat you verbally. I can beat you intellectually.
Dominic, here's the thing.
I can beat you in any sport that you name.
Dominic, here's the thing.
I can beat you in your sport of hockey.
You're a great athlete. You're very fit. You're a very tough guy. But how come every time I call you on your BS, you're like, I won't let you do that anymore. You're hurting my feelings.
No.
Just settle down. We're having a debate about the issues. All right, let's keep going.
No, we can debate the issues.
All right, let's go.
But you're not going to.
At this point of every episode, you start to fail. So come on.
Okay, but
hang in there, pal.
We can debate the issues, but you are not going to question my intellect. You are not going there.
Let me ask you.
I have worked too hard in my life to get where I am to sit across from you.
I can't hold your hand. I can't hold your hand.
And for you to try and do this.
Dominic, I can't hold...
Did you take your medication today?
Dominic, I can't hold your hand. I did compliment your intelligence at the beginning of the show. I can't do it every 5 minutes.
Right.
You have to. You cannot be someone that has to be. I can't nurse you the entire episode. Just suck it up. You're going to get yelled at in this show. Deal with it. All right. The next issue is the economy, inflation.
And it's okay to get yelled at, but do I question your intellect?
Yes.
Until this week?
You call me liar all the time.
Well, you
That's
do
even
lie. You lied about 15 times
Watch
this
what
show.
I'm going to do my Dominic. Oh, don't call me a liar, Dominic.
You lied 15 times this show.
Dominic, I'm so... You're making me sad. Don't call me a liar.
Go ahead.
You see, Dominic, my thing is, you call me a liar, I could give a crap.
You're exposing yourself for the emptiness that you bring to this discussion.
There you go. Now, look, that's your best insult.
Right.
Bounced right off me.
Okay,
you got
good.
nothing. You got nothing. Dominic, I hope your guy does well in the debate.
He's going to win.
I'm sure you know that. I'm not so sure. We'll find out.
And how's Kamala Harris
and we'll come back next week and talk all about it.
And how's Kamala going to do?
I think that this election is going to come down to 10% of people, most of which...
Will she have a teleprompter?
Not for the debate. What are you going to say then?
Or will she have an earpiece?
By the way, what about when she's going to do... When's she going to do an interview? When's she going to do an interview? When's she going to do an interview?
You call that an interview she did with CNN? And Tim Walz standing right there to hold her hand? I need Tim Walz here with me to eat up the time.
More misogyny to end our show. Take it away, Vinny Medugno.
College Savings Iowa is now iSave 529, and it can do more than take your child to college. It's their passport to a bright future, because funds can be used for K-12 tuition, trade schools, graduate degrees, books, and everything they need to get anywhere they want to go. Register by September 30th at iowa529contest.com for a chance to win a $5,290 contribution. iSave 529 for every child, for any adventure.